Hey, this is Kevin from Kevin's Barbecue Joints, and this episode's awesome. It's with Haley from Barbs-B-Q in Lockhart, Texas. When I originally talked to Haley, Barb's hadn't opened yet, and so it was all kind of assumptions as to what this was going to be. They've been open for a number of months now, and I wanted to check in to find out their menu completely because she goes over it in great detail, and it sounds fantastic, and it's so unique to them. But also, I want to know if there's crazy lines, because for you guys, if you want to visit Barb's, you might in the back of your head think, they're really crowded. It's going to be a 3 hour wait. Well, it's not that way. She talks all about it, talks about the sweet spot and different times that they come. But don't worry, visit them. You will not wait very long, and it will be so, so worth it. And it's also great to go down to Lockhart. But also, too, I just wanted to catch up, see what her headspace was, see how things were going for her, as well as learn some things about Barb's that we don't know. So I can't thank her enough for taking the time again, and make sure that you do put them on your list. They're open only on Saturdays right now. They may be expanding their hours, but they're open only on Saturdays. But remember, stay safe and visit your local barbecue joint. All right, Haley, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm good. It's nice to see you a second time, and it's nice to talk to you when you're now in the
Yeah.
thick of things. And so
Yeah.
how long has Barb's been open?
We opened on May 27th. So I think
May,
it's been
June.
about 20 weeks or so, 4 months now. Just Saturdays only still. So it's not like too hectic. We still have days off, which has always been my dream.
Yeah, well, you
um,
should.
but yeah, it's been really well. We're just kind of like learning as we go and just feeling it out. And it's been really awesome so far.
Is it how you thought it would be, or do you know how you remembered?
Yes, I think so. There are a few things that we probably didn't expect or think would be as much of our day to day. It's a lot of work.
Hmm.
we're we're
Like running a
we're
business,
learning.
right?
Oh yeah, like even when we're not there, we are still working. Even on our days off, there's still emails, shirts to ship. Still
Hmm.
trying to keep things fun and interesting every week. And that's like another hard part is like just maintaining and then trying to keep people coming back and have
Hmm.
reasons for that. So that's kind of where we're at now is like, okay, we're open. We did that. Great success. We're super happy and proud. Now it's like, okay, but now what? Like,
Hmm.
we got to keep that going somehow. So
That's smart.
that's
No,
mainly
it's
like, yeah, like maybe some new menu items, maybe expanding days, hopefully, and trying to find like other things that we can do that are fun and different, whether that's like pop-ups here and there or like new items, new collabs.
saw you're doing a collab with what is it, a pastry company or like ice cream
Oh
company?
yeah, yeah, that's our friends. They're in Austin where I live. They're not too
Oh,
far. We met the owners of OMG Squee. They're like a Japanese style bakery. They have a lot
cool.
of really yummy, good stuff. And they came to one of our brisket classes. And when we found out it was them, I was like, oh my God, we're like huge fans. We just love their food and the whole vibe of their business. And we've become friends ever since. And we'll bring them like barbecue and they'll bring us
Oh, that's
donuts
cool.
and yeah, they're so cool. And it's kind of like my dream come true, just knowing them and being friends with them.
Yeah, that's all you needed,
So
right?
yeah, yeah, exactly. So they're gonna come to our class again, and we're gonna give away some tickets so everyone can be all together. And yeah, it's a dream collab.
Oh, that's cool. I was always wondering how it is for a place that gets a big opening and a big splash and a lot of attention,
Hmm.
and then people maybe this either think it's going to be too busy,
Yeah.
or they're flavor of the month type of people that love to like the new stuff. That's to keep it going and
Hmm.
sustain that. That's a challenge.
Yeah, that's definitely true. Like it has been busy and it has like chilled out a lot. People are
Mhm.
like, "Oh, I'm scared. I don't want to have to wait." It's like, no, there's not really that much of a line.
That's
You
good to
know, you
know.
don't have to wait for hours. It probably doesn't start. People might show up at around like 9 or 10 for the very beginning of the line, and then it doesn't really get long until right when we open at 11. And there's maybe like 10, 20 people. So it's really
Not bad.
not, it's nothing like grand opening. I think the other issue is probably just like getting people to Lockhart, you know. That's not a every week trip for most people.
Hmm.
So we got to give them a good reason to keep making the trip.
Yeah, I did a Google Street View of you
Uh-huh.
guys, and it doesn't necessarily have your logo, but if you spin around, it's that Lockhart. It's
Oh yeah,
the
the courthouse,
courthouse.
the
It's
big building.
gorgeous.
Yeah.
I forgot how
Hmm.
gorgeous. Seen it a long time ago, but it's so beautiful. That's a reason enough to come, I would think, for
Oh,
people to
for
see.
sure. And not even just us. So like the courthouse is the center essentially of the town and of this like block called the square. And we're just one of like the many businesses on the downtown little square area, and there's a lot of cute stuff. So you can
Yeah.
easily make a day out of it, if not multiple days. So I think eventually maybe we'll make a video trying to highlight like
You should.
it's not just us. There's like
Yeah.
so much stuff you can do here. It's really cute and charming.
I know. I agree. I love those kind of videos too. I'm like
Yeah,
such a
yeah.
sucker for those. But it's so on the corner. Is that a liquor store, like an old liquor store, or is that did they turn that
Next to us is Old Pal,
Old Pal?
and
What is that?
they're a bar. They have really good food too, and like burgers and everything.
Oh, cool.
It's really nice for us because we can just walk
Go
next
right
door and
over.
get dinner and have a drink, and yeah, it's perfect. And they're super nice. They actually were the owners there were some of the people that helped us get the building that we have now. They're the
Hmm.
ones that actually told us about it. A
I've
lot of
heard Old Pal, but I didn't associate it with that. Okay, that's okay. So that's cool. So that's when people have panned their photo when they're taking photos of you guys on an angle.
Yep,
That's I'll try to show that
we're right
on.
there. Yep.
I'll try to show that. Maybe I'll even be smart enough to show it here in the video. But that's exactly if people show up around 9, 10 o'clock, that's a good time to
Yeah,
show up. And it's
that's
about
like if you
45
want to
minutes to.
be first in line. Yeah. Otherwise, once we get through, like if the longest wait is probably if you show up like at 11, because that's when the most people are going to be waiting. But anytime after that, too, if you show up at like noon, between noon and 1, you'll probably still get most of the menu, and maybe the line's already shortened by
Okay.
then, or even by like 2 o'clock, we might be out of a few things, but there probably won't be a line.
Okay.
So.
And there's seating inside and outside or just inside?
Yeah, mostly inside. We do have like a table outside, but there's a lot of public benches, and there's even like a little park down the street, or you
Oh,
can
cool.
sit by the courthouse too. They've got like a nice
Yeah.
lawn area if you want to have a picnic. And the
That's cool.
weather's pretty decent here now too. It's not hot anymore. In fact, it was
Mm.
like 40 degrees today.
Hence the sweatshirt
Not a
you're wearing.
fan. Yeah, yeah, I'm not ready for winter.
I'll talk about the menu and talk about
Yeah.
barbs, but I also want to say, didn't you just have a scan or something that came back really positive?
Yeah, yeah.
Congratulations.
So now I pretty much done with the like hardcore treatment stuff. I just have to take some like preventative pills, which isn't too bad. I can definitely handle that. And now they have me doing like every 6 months, I'll do like either a mammogram or a MRI. So I just did my first mammogram that's been past all the chemo and everything, and it showed everything was still clear.
Nice.
Yeah, so
Nice.
that was a really good feeling. So yeah, I'm just
That's important.
riding it
It's
out now. Yeah.
yeah, not
Yeah,
not fun.
now it's the easy part at least.
Yeah, you're on the road to a complete recovery and being
Hmm.
Haley again and being
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
So with the menu, what is the can you as a menu is a menu? Well, let's just go. What is the menu?
Yeah, so we have our classics that you may have tried at like a pop-up or Texas Monthly or something. We have our brisket, standard Texas, Central Texas style brisket. We do use our own freshly ground chili rub on that. So it does have a little bit of a
Oh, cool.
tiny bit of kick that you can taste in there. We have our Molotov pork ribs, which is pork spare ribs, got like a little bit of a Serrano glaze on there, and we zest it with lime. So that's our
Oh,
little
cool.
specialty, and it makes it nice and bright. We have our smoked turkey breast, which is so good. It's like dipped in butter. It has like a nice herb rub on that. I don't like turkey, but our turkey is so good.
That's
I
awesome.
will
Okay.
gladly eat it at any time. We have our lamb chops, which are also they have a nice herb rub on them. They're kind of like a little steak meat pop, if you will, and really fun and different. Not a lot of barbecue places have
Mm.
that, so that's kind of like a fun special little treat. And I think that was the first. Oh, we also have beef ribs too. Pretty average, but you know that they're like a
Yes.
richer version of brisket. I would
Yeah.
say like one bite and you're good probably,
Yeah. It's
but
also
it's
like
so
you don't eat that. Generally, you share
good.
that with someone if you're.
Yes, I would recommend that. And those are the meats that we started with. And since opening, we also have added our fajita sausage, which is super yummy. That
Oh,
took a
so
little while. We had to get like the equipment and everything and perfect the recipe on that. So that's fairly recent, but
that's
another
cool.
Texas classic
So
meat
is it like a
standard.
Tex-Mex?
I guess we're trying to have it kind of be like yeah, it's like Southern. It's mostly inspired from Chuck and Alexis, the other girls of Barbs-B-Q, they're from Brownsville and like the border area. So a lot of it is kind of pulled from their
Oh, cool.
childhood. So yeah, you could say like the southern Texas, central Texas kind of vibe
Okay,
there.
cool. It's scratch made sausage, obviously, because I do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, everything is still made in house. We make our own bread, tortillas, pickles, onions, barbecue sauce, anything like that.
And what sides do you guys have?
Ooh, for the sides, our most popular and kind of what we're known for is the green spaghetti. That's another like Brownsville traditional side there. It's like a roasted poblano creamy green sauce pasta.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
good.
I've wondered what
Very
it was
addictive.
poblano. Okay, thank you for telling me poblano.
Yeah,
I
it's
forgot to
mostly
ask you that first
poblanos.
time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's got like a really rich flavor from that. It also has some like jalapeno and cilantro in
Oh,
there,
cool.
cream cheese. Yeah, very yummy,
Ah,
rich. Yeah, it's really good. So that's kind of our signature side, I would say. And then our other sides, we have our charo beans, which are kind of like another they're trying to emulate the beans that they had from their childhood as well. So it's like black beans, and they have some little like hot dog weenies in there, bacon.
oh, cool.
So those are really yummy. We top it with some homemade queso fresco, and then we have our slaw is kind of like an avocado slaw, I would
Hmm.
say. It has like we do have like our regular slaw has like a creamy, almost like sour cream and onion kind of
Yeah.
vibe to it. But we just recently added some vegan options. So we actually have a vegan version of the slaw as well, which is mostly like avocado and citrus
Hmm.
and like chives,
Oh,
kind of.
cool.
Yeah, so we have a few slaws now.
So you always have two slots?
Oh, yeah, right now we do. They're both really good.
Yeah.
I like both on their own. So, and it's a good option. We mainly are doing the vegan slaw because we have a vegan kind of like a mock chopped brisket, but it's like a vegan chopped mushroom actually,
Oh, really?
sandwich. Yeah, so the slaw is made to kind of pair with a sandwich. And it's really good that way.
So how do you guys cook? Do you smoke the mushrooms? Are they
Actually,
portobello or?
I tried a few different methods. I tried like smoking them, grilling them,
Yeah.
and everything, and I ended up picking some lion's mane mushrooms because
Mhm.
they're very like
Yeah.
stringy and almost muscle-like
Mhm.
already. And that was able to taste really good without even smoking it because it's
Huh.
such a quick like cook time on it.
Mhm.
So I just cook those on the stove with a lot of the same like seasoning that we use for brisket and everything
Mhm.
and our barbecue sauce. Yeah, so also a very new addition. That's pretty yummy.
That's cool. No, and people like that are ordering that aren't expecting it to be cooked on the smoker. They are like,
Yeah.
it's not like they're coming like they wouldn't be mad if you didn't cook it on the smoker.
Yeah.
Like so silly for
Yeah.
me to ask.
No,
But
I
yeah.
think there no, but I mean it makes sense. I think another reason why we can get away without doing it is like our barbecue sauce has smoked tea in it.
Hmm.
So that kind of brings the smoky flavor just from the sauce, I think, without having to
Smoked
actually.
tea.
Yeah, it's called lapsang. It's like a smoked tea. So
Like
it
an
has a
Asian, like a
little
it sounds Asian.
yeah.
It's okay.
hmm
Wow.
Yeah, so that's kind of our special kick to the barbecue sauce.
So do you guys have that just that one sauce or do you guys have a couple sauces?
Just the one
Yeah.
sauce. We do make salsas as well to go with the that you can just order, but we don't have it just sitting out on the table,
Yeah.
so you just have to like get some little ones to take with you.
There was something that a word that you was a type of bread or something that you would make?
Oh, the
Conch.
was it the cinnamon swirl or the bread pudding?
Is that what it
Maybe the
was?
concha bread pudding.
Yeah,
Yeah,
concha
our
bread
bread.
pudding.
Yeah, so it's essentially like my grandmother's bread pudding recipe, and we were trying to think of a way to like make it fit the menu, be different because you can. I've had bread pudding before,
Yeah.
so we swapped out some of the bread for some conchas, which is like a Mexican sweet bread, and it works really well and it adds like some fun colors to it as
So you
well.
guys have that, right?
Yes, yeah, that's
Okay.
one of our desserts. It comes with like a little cream sauce on top, so you get like the nice hot and cold
Oh, that's great.
moment. It was very yummy. And then our other dessert is our abuelita chocolate pudding. So that's like a cold pudding, and it has some like cookie crumble in that. It's a nice like cinnamony, hot
Ah,
chocolatey, fudgy flavor. Yeah.
So did Alexis and Chuck grow up together? or in the same area?
They met in middle school, I believe.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. Huh.
Yeah. And then they
Okay.
met me in like 2017. Yeah.
Okay. And they
Yeah.
met you at
hmm
Franklin,
At
huh?
Franklin, yeah, we were all
Okay.
there.
Okay. I was interviewing someone and they mentioned that 24 hours at Franklin as something like that inspired them because they lived way away from Texas, and this
hmm
was something that inspired them to, like, among other things that inspired them, that there's something different about barbecue out there in Texas.
Yeah.
And so
Mhm.
then I rewatched it because I had seen it and I knew the guy was from New York or something, and I was just curious and I was going through it, and then I saw you appear as the person in the counting proteins in the line. And I think I
Yeah.
remember you had mentioned that in our last talk, but what was
hmm
that line? What was that like, talking, like, dealing with that, and what's the process what did you guys do to make, because a lot of people, no one knows really what that's like. And then was there
Yeah.
ever a moment where, like, you told someone, yeah, you'll be okay, and then they weren't okay when they got, or do you tell someone when it's okay? So you answer the question. I'm just talking.
Yeah. So essentially, like it was pretty much like down to a science. You would go in the morning, you figure out, okay, you talk to the cutter and the people cooking, figure out like exactly how much meat you have.
Okay.
You give yourself a little bit of a buffer too, just to play safe. Because also people lie, like they don't
Yeah.
know what they're gonna order at 8 a.m. and then they're
Yeah.
not gonna remember and order the exact same thing, 5 hours later. So there's like definitely some variables.
Yeah.
But you basically would just go down, talk to everybody, and once you got to a point where it was getting a little scary, you would start telling people like, "Hey, don't wait. If you want this meat, whatever. There's just a good chance you're not going to get it." It was also something you could kind of tell just by the length of the line and like the density of
Like,
people. People would
visually.
usually, yes, yeah, we would like train people. Okay, the line is at this staircase. That's 30 minutes. This is an hour and a half. This is
Oh,
like, yeah, it was down to like a science. But there would be random days when you're like, oh, all of a sudden, like we have way less food than we thought, whether somebody ordered way more than they thought, or they just were going through the food a lot faster. That would definitely happen. And you would just apologize and do what you could. You're dealing with a lot of people every single day, like hundreds, if not thousands of people every day, whether it's like making them super happy or telling them to leave because they're not going to get food. Like that was another huge part of the job, was just like convincing people not to wait. It's just
yeah,
like,
no, that's true.
please don't wait. Like you're setting yourself up for disappointment. If you wait, there's not going to be food. It's not going to magically appear, So you kind of would like develop a whole spiel and like how to say things and what to do. I would always say like, "Oh, I have this job has formed a callus over my heart. Like I'm used to saying these things all the time, kicking people out and this." So yeah, you kind of learn the whole feeling of it
Yeah.
all. Yeah,
No, it's
it's
because
it's an interesting thing.
yeah, it's unusual. Like, you'll never have a job
Yeah.
like that ever again.
No, I can't imagine. I don't think there would be anything like it. No.
No, it's so unusual. And then when I saw it, I'm like, oh, I really want to ask her what it was like. And then if there's people, and I guess if you wait 5 hours and you've been kind of warned, like, you can't get mad. Like,
hmm
you really can't.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's kind of just covering your butt
Yeah. And
and telling people what to expect. Yeah.
yeah, and that's usually, like, I'm more closer to the weekend because I know that, like, when I went
hmm
in one time, it was later in the day and I got in and I got almost everything, but I
Oh
walked
yeah.
right in. But this was like one of those strange days that not many people do.
Yeah, and you would much rather have someone just walk in at the end and get a bunch of stuff than someone wait and
For
not.
sure.
So yeah, that is something we would definitely try to like push for, is like just swing by at 2 and then
Yeah.
maybe if we end up with extra, that's the time to do it. Yeah.
Did you ever watch it?
The Bon Appetit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Usually you told
Yeah,
people.
that was me. That was cool. I do remember when I was making that, I was a lot younger and I did take my job very seriously. And I remember like I was trying so hard to do a good job that day, and they had me all like mic'd up and everything, but they wanted him to do everything that I was doing,
Oh yeah.
for the video, obviously. But I'm like trying to do my job and like go home. So they're like, no, let him do all the closing and cleaning. And I'm like, and I'm just supposed to like stand there.
Yeah, that's true. That's so because yeah, because you really want to do your job. That's just yeah, that's such a funny thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But I mean, it was totally fine for just like this one video, which was really a cool experience. I
yeah,
got to do a lot of like fun, cool things like that
yeah.
there.
I'll
So
put a link to it below if people haven't seen it. It
yeah.
is fun because it's I forget his name, Andrew or something, or it's something. It's and it's from Bon
Is
Appetit.
it? Yeah, like Andrew.
Yeah, I think he's done
Yeah.
24 hours at like Cat's Deli. I think he a Waffle House or
hmm
something. And so and the Franklin one was a fun one. I don't think a lot of people probably millions of people
Oh
saw it, but it's
yeah.
just funny that
Yeah.
you I because I saw it way back when and I didn't know you and I had watched it without and then I'm like, oh I and then I
Yeah.
saw Johnny like he was doing sides, I guess, and I'm like, oh, there's Johnny.
Yeah. Oh my gosh,
Yeah, he
that's
was.
right.
Yeah, because I brought it up to him.
Wow.
He's like, yeah, I was doing sides. So it's just so now then I'm like, oh, I gotta watch and see who else I see in it. And no one else. I don't think I saw anybody else.
It was. I think it was before like Chuck and Alexis had started for sure.
Yeah,
It was
that's
back
funny.
in the day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
back when you were a kid.
Yeah. The good old days.
You guys have merch still online?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
It does kind of change. We do maybe pick different colors every time just to keep it
Yeah.
fun and different. And they do run out pretty frequently, so I try to keep it full as much as possible. But we should have something at all times.
Okay, cool. All right, awesome. And do people buy stuff? Can you have stuff at the store too, at the shop?
Yeah, yeah. We got shirts, we have stickers, hats. Sometimes we have like tote bags. We
Oh,
try
cool.
to sell some of the rub as well. We hopefully once we get the rub like figured out and maybe a few more, we'll start selling those online as well.
Are you guys kind of splitting up the cooking process and doing things, or do you guys have, or like is it like
Yeah,
by week basis, or is it kind of
we do each kind of have our own roles that we're just stronger in right now. So for the most part, Chuck and Alexis will cook like the briskets and do a good amount of the prep. I do a lot of like the online fun businessy stuff.
uh-huh.
And then I'll go on Friday and Saturday to do a good chunk of prep and help with the cooking on Saturday morning is my job.
Don't you like cooking ribs? Isn't that something that you like to
Yeah, yeah.
look away?
Sometimes I was doing like the really early rib shift at like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, which is why I don't want to do more days. But we actually now that we have like the little Goldie's backyard pit now.
Hmm.
Sometimes we can fit the ribs on our pits so that way we can do them
Oh, cool.
but when I don't have to get up as early. So we're kind of yeah adjusting things. Hopefully, maybe we can add a day then. But yeah, we each kind of have our specific foods that we prep and
That's smart.
whatnot.
No, that's kind of
Yeah,
how would you want it, and then I'm sure like it kind of falls
yeah,
into place. Yeah. Oh wait.
hmm
So
yeah.
if you added a day, would it be a Sunday or a Friday or
I
any?
think Sunday. Yeah, hopefully if we play our cards right, we're gonna get through like Texas Monthly Barbecue Fest. That's coming up. That's like a huge,
Oh, true.
probably our biggest event of the year, and that's like the first weekend of November. And then after that, we'll probably then it should chill out. I think
Yeah.
that would be the time around there when we could maybe add another day.
Awesome. I think that we've covered a lot because I really wanted people to know what's going on with Barbs because I think that's
Yeah,
you know,
me
we
too.
everything yeah and it's everything was like so like what it was supposed to be. That's
hmm
assumptions as to what it was going to be. So
For
so
sure.
there's something when after we had talked, I saw that you had a musical career that you're is it Dottie? Is that the name of?
Yeah, yeah, it's called Dottie. I've always been a big music person. I started playing when I was like 7. I got a
Oh,
guitar and took lessons and stuff. But then I started getting into like more experimental ambient kind of style
oh,
shoegaze
cool.
music. So yeah, I do that. That's one of probably my biggest passion. Sorry, barbecue.
Wait, can
But
you go back to
barbecue
that?
is
Because I saw shoegaze. I saw it. I was gonna Google it because I'm like I should
yeah.
know what shoegaze. What does shoegaze mean?
So technically it's like referring to you know how like if you're playing an electric guitar, like people will run it through effects pedals.
Hmm.
Like they'll be like stomping on them. So
Hmm.
it's essentially referring to like people that play music and they're staring
Staring
down
down.
at the pedals. Yeah. So it's like
Okay,
a shoegazer. So it's like heavily affected guitars,
gotcha.
essentially. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
So
so
that's
that, but so when did
the
you start
whole
getting into
thing.
that style? Was it like the last few years
When
or?
I was like 16
Oh,
probably. So I've also been doing that for like half of my life now. And it's not it hasn't like taken off even as much as barbecue. But it's still something I really enjoy and I'm okay with it just being a fun thing for me. It doesn't need to be like a money maker or anything. But yeah, I like to play a lot of shows in town and
Like you play
Yeah.
almost what, once a week or once every 2 weeks?
Probably every month, I would
Okay.
say. Yeah, I have one this week and
And-
practice
and-
for that. You can see like I have all my equipment.
ah,
This is like my music room. I got
wait. So
like a
do you
drum
you
set and
play all
everything.
that while you're?
When I'm playing live, it's just like a guitar and vocals, and I have like a backtrack that I play to that has like the full band, but it is just me. So like all the recordings, it's just me playing
You
all the
produce all the
instruments.
oh, that's all. Oh, that's
Yeah,
cool.
it's really fun.
So that's
Mhm.
fun then.
Oh yeah, no, I love it. It's my favorite thing ever.
Yeah. Do you show up at the same place a lot, or is it just people?
Yeah, there's a few venues in Austin that I kind of frequent, whether it's Mohawk or Hotel Vegas, or usually like
Okay.
the main ones I'll play usually.
And what's the Instagram for that?
The name is Dottie. I couldn't think of anything better, so that's
D
what
O
it
T
was.
T I E, right?
Yep,
And why Dottie?
yeah, yeah,
Why
Dottie.
no, why
Dottie.
why Dottie? Is Dottie a nickname that you had from?
Ooh, Dottie is actually. Oh man, it's a whole thing.
Or should I not even should I not ask?
It's
Or
actually so when I was a kid, there was this really nice lady that worked at the Walmart that I used to go to. And she was like a nice older lady and she treated me like her grandkid. She was like the nicest person ever. But her name was Dorothy. But she would always be like, I always want people to call me Dottie. Why don't people call me Dottie? So I was like,
oh,
oh, duh, like Dottie. And I've always like it's been my homage to her,
oh,
basically.
that's cool. That's great.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
awesome. One last thing I want to ask you is there
yeah.
was some dessert that you posted that looked really good. Linden, like it was
Oh yeah, the Swedish
chocolate.
pancake.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like Chuck and Alexis have their, Southern influences, and I'm trying to do. I'm like, oh, well, I need to do like
Hmm.
my childhood food, which is I'm from North Dakota. It's very like Scandinavian, sometimes like German
Hmm.
influences in there too. So where I'm from, we have like lefse, which is like potato pancakes essentially, or Swedish pancakes are almost like a crepe,
Hmm.
but they're maybe like eggier or
Hmm.
like a little
A little
fluffier.
fluffier. Yeah, yeah.
Um, yeah, so I was like, ooh, I should like practice these. Maybe I could do them for like a pop up or something like
Oh,
that.
cool.
So I'm trying to work on like a bunch of like almost a full menu of Scandinavian northern food is something
Oh,
that
that's
I'm
cool.
kind of planning on, whether it's like pop up or just like a dinner service at Barb's or something like that. I think that would be the goal, just to kind of fulfill my
Yeah.
inner childhood.
Hey, if you guys
Yeah,
can, like, do it.
yeah. Oh,
That's the
absolutely.
whole point of this. That's really, really cool. Well, and so what
Yeah.
was that you drizzled on? It was purple. It was like a
It's
certain
yeah, it's like a cream with some lingonberry jam
lingonberry,
mixed in
that's what it
it.
was. Yeah.
So yeah, yeah.
And that's
So
kind of a funky,
something
like a lot
fun.
of people don't know that kind of,
No, yeah, for sure. I think you can get maybe something similar at IKEA, but that's about it.
or cost plus or something.
Yeah.
No, I've had it somewhere and it sounds familiar. Maybe even I've seen it on TV or something. But I know that
Hmm.
there's certain berries that grow, certain places,
Oh
and
yeah,
it
yeah.
makes more
Hmm.
sense. So it probably over
Yeah.
in Europe probably too. That's a thing. They
Yeah.
probably
Hmm.
brought it over when they and so since you're I forgot to ask because you're from North Dakota, you guys spend a lot of time at Mount Rushmore, right? That's like all you guys do is just hang out at Mount Rushmore.
That's actually in South Dakota.
Oh yeah, it's South Dakota. Shows what we know about
I mean, I
that.
have gone there.
I mean, because
Um,
it's so close. That's what I meant. I feel
yeah,
like an
I
ass.
guess
What do you? It is South Dakota.
the
Shit.
the closer part or the closer thing would be like the Badlands. That's
The
like
Badlands. And that's really cool
the
looking, right? Isn't that neat
that
looking?
is
Yeah.
so cool. That's
Yeah.
actually maybe one of the coolest things about
Okay.
North Dakota for sure.
Okay.
Yeah. So
That'll
that was
make me
really
look
close there.
geographically stupid, but I'm keeping it in.
No,
I'm
they're
keeping
like
it
the
in.
same state as far as I'm concerned.
Well, it's
So,
also like I think those are the two least inhabited, or I think maybe North
or
Dakota
like
might.
maybe Wyoming, but
Maybe
yeah,
Wyoming. Yeah.
pretty
There's
much.
certain states that like don't have that many people.
There's no one.
Yeah, I think when we went,
Yeah.
because I went cross country with some friends, we went through South Dakota. I don't know if we went to North Dakota. I think because we
Yeah.
wanted to see Mount Rushmore. When we got there, we're like, we're so far away. Like it's not
Yeah.
even, you can't even get close.
No.
It's still
Yeah.
amazing, I guess. It's sort of, but
Yeah. It's just how like empty everything is.
yeah, exactly. No, but like seeing someone carve something in a mountain,
Oh, no.
but also you're
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
that's kind of a shitty thing to do in a mountain, like in the middle of nature.
Yeah. We should
But
just blow it up.
that's
Yeah.
America for you. That's what we
Yep.
do.
It sure is.
Exactly. Well, no, but is there anything about Barb's? Oh, can you say something maybe that we don't know about Chuck or Alexis that like someone that
Ooh.
you're, yeah, that doesn't
Mm.
have to be salty. Just one that is,
I'm like, oh, I need to go through my phone. I got some pictures. I guess, well, I mean, we are like very close friends over all of it. And yeah, I feel like almost like a mother figure slightly, just because
yeah,
I've maybe been through slightly a little bit more of this road
yeah,
than they have yet. So I just want the best for them and I want
yeah.
everything
Oh, that's
to
nice.
be great.
Yeah,
But as far as them like personally, they are just like some silly girls. They are.
that's cool. Oh, that's great.
They as soon as I go in to work on Friday, I go in, they're like blasting Lady Gaga in the kitchen, and they'll just be like, they'll, they'll just say like, "What if Ariana Grande came to Barb's?" And I'll be like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah, we should.
So
Maybe she will.
it's so like fun and whimsical, like the things that they think of and worry about. And I'm over here just like, oh my God, we gotta do this. And they're just like, oh my, what if like Ariana came?
That's so great. That's so.
So I need that.
So the
I need
balance, yeah,
that
it's
like,
there. It's there.
oh, exactly. Like I'm probably maybe a little too like serious as far as like work and business and whatnot, but they're just like they just are cool and fun. So I
So
need
you
it.
need that, and they need you. It makes sense. It's a good balance.
Yes, it works for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I guess, and a good takeaway from this is that you're not going to wait like come to bars because you're not going to wait in line.
Yeah, no, it's not like a huge wait. You can definitely like make a day out of it. There's a
Mhm,
lot of stuff to do in Lockhart. We'll try to have like more specials and new fun things so that
mhm.
way you can just keep on
Keep
coming
on
back
coming. Yeah. Yeah. Come every weekend for,
every week.
until
Some people
2030.
do. We could definitely make more food. So if more people show up, we'll make more and
Cool.
that'll be fun.
Awesome. Well, excellent. Well, thank you, Haley, for taking the time. I'm so
Yeah,
glad.
thank
So
you so
glad
much,
about
Kevin.
your positive stuff with your life, and then with this. And so, oh, and actually,
Yeah, me
one
too.
second, Alexa, quiet. I don't know what I say that sometimes it just starts talking.